They don't think that they need
Compliments is a gift. I just had that yesterday. I posted.
Compliments is a
It's
gift.
a gift.
And that is becoming a better version of yourself. If you're currently in that position. Good morning, guys. I'm Greg, and this is
Jenny.
And we are so excited to bring you another episode of God, Intimacy, and Money. And this week's been a fun week, hasn't it?
It's been a fun week.
It's been a fun week. We've had a lot of good times. Our last episode was super exciting. We got a chance to talk to
my uncle,
an author, a spiritual leader, and just a leader in the world that had some amazing experiences that we found out just by chatting with him. I had no idea. So, guys, the purpose of this show, or the events that we have, that we go through the topics, is to bring real concerns to you guys. And Jenny, came up with another amazing topic that we're going to talk about today. It could be real detailed, but we made it real simple.
Yeah.
So Jenny, what's the topic today?
Just basic. It's how to become the best version of yourself.
The best version of yourself. What does that mean? When you hear that, Jenny, I know you've done a lot of study and research on that. Well, tell me. I mean, what do you think on that? Becoming the best version of yourself. What do you think that means?
Be something, or be different.
Be different
from what you are right now.
Be different than what you are. And as I look at that topic, I've been coaching and mentoring people off and on for over 20 years, and really, there's so many different versions of what that can be. But at the end of the day, it comes down to everything being the basic. But how do you become the best version of yourself? First of all, make it real simple.
Number one.
Make it real simple.
Yes.
That's the important thing. And find those things that work for you. All the coaching programs, all the mentorship programs, all of the tools and seminars and videos and things you can go to. I was talking to one of my coaches here. He's a really good friend of mine just a few days ago, and I talked with him about this topic. And Jenny and I were looking at ourselves and always looking to want to improve ourselves, and as we can help maybe bring things to you guys. I'd asked him, in the coaching, how do you become a better version of yourself? How do you help other people? How can we help ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
And he gave us a story where he talked about that, in his 20s, he had built a very large business, a worldwide business, all the way from 20 to 24. And he had did it, without a coach or a mentor. And, today he's in the top 50 income earners of the world for entrepreneurs.
What he was doing was he read a lot of books and just learning.
Well, that was a big thing he did. He said, Greg, I didn't really have a coach or a mentor. And a lot of people think that to become the best version of yourself, you have to have a coach or a mentor. Now, in as much as that's what Jenny and I are doing for folks, that's really our bigger goal, is to help you become the best version of yourself by building people into leaders and kind of letting them go and not having them to where they're stuck and they want to be, all the time. Hey, we have to call Greg and Jenny, and hey, we need a coach or a mentor. Yeah, we don't. That's not becoming the best version of yourself. And what this gentleman did is he said, Greg, between 20 and 24, he said, I probably read 500 to 1,000 books. And anytime I needed a coach or a mentor, I went to a book, or I called someone and said, hey, I'm struggling on with the topic, and I went and got a book. So there is a true reality, as I'm experiencing once again, that leaders are readers. And that's one of the things I'll tell you, that becoming the best version of yourself, make it very simple. There are functions, there's seminars, there's events, there's merit and value in all of those things that you can go to, because it gets you excited. Now, some people feel they need those coaches and mentors in their life daily, and that's okay. But really, at the end of the day, becoming the best version of yourself, meaning that you're first going to take care of yourself. That's the big thing.
Take care of your health.
Take care of your health.
Yes.
Mentally,
physically, everything. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't do anything. You can't. Yes. So that's the number one that I would do. Take care of myself.
Just take care of yourself.
I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm taking care of myself right now. Raise that. I'm trying.
Yeah, well, and
that's not a good one.
Getting that word out, getting trying.
I'm still learning.
What's funny about taking care of your health? There was one of coaches and mentors I was talking with. He's a good friend. He's a good friend of mine, and it was back in, I think it was January, February, and he was talking about setting goals for the year. So it had to have been December, January. And he's talking about how people set goals and they set them real high. They want to become a better version of themselves. And he came out to everybody and said, "Listen, if you want to go ahead and change your life, lose some weight. If you want to, go ahead and increase your wealth, lose some weight."
We still need to lose weight. We are doing that, guys.
Well, and
slowly but surely.
Well, what that does, though, and if you've already lost that weight, there's other things that we're going to go to. But generally, if you're wanting to become a better version of yourself, and you want to create your income higher, you want to become spiritual, you want to get a better marriage, lose some weight. Because you start feeling better about yourself. And things they don't do in the world today. Maybe they do it some places, but I graduated, in 1990, and I remember every morning on our school, over the PA, they would have stuff from Zig Ziglar that they would play over the PA, and a lot of the things they said, if you want to feel good about yourself, look good about yourself. So dress nice, look nice, lose some weight, drop the weight. Taking care of yourself healthy,
you feel good.
You're going to feel better about doing that. And there's lots of ways to do that. There's so many different diet programs, and pills and powders, and do this and do that. You have to figure out the truth. What's going to work for you. That can be another confusing process. So again, find out when you start taking care of yourself physically, do what works for you.
Yes.
Don't get caught up in the world of saying, well, my program works the best and my program works the best. Guys, I'm going to be truthful with you. All those programs are great, but each one of those people are just trying to sell their own stuff, which isn't wrong. But don't get confused in finding out what's the best way. That's just
what I do is Zumba. It makes me feel good.
She does Zumba.
Even it's slow, but I'm doing it.
I'm hitting the treadmill.
3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had me do Zumba a couple times. That's crazy stuff. I can keep up.
Chinese Zumba.
But the Chinese Zumba.
I like it. I have fun.
Yeah.
Make it fun.
She's making it fun.
Works, yeah.
So taking care of your health, make it fun. So first, lose some weight. If you've lost the weight, get in shape, and then from there, get in shape spiritually. Figure out what's going on spiritually inside, and whether you recognize God, Mother Earth, the universe. However you recognize that strength above you, get healthy with that and figure out inside of you, how can I become a better version of myself? A lot of that is really recognizing gratitude. Most of us have a lack of gratitude. Most people have a lack of appreciation. People aren't humble generally. Those are things that people struggle with. So becoming a better version of yourself, guys in general, just be grateful for the things you have in your life. And be humble. Be able to have someone or something come into your heart and your soul and say, listen, what you're doing is not working. Change what you're doing. And don't be so self-defensive on going, well, hey, listen, you've been telling me, Bob, that you want to change your life, but you're not changing your life. And when we've told, given you suggestions, you're doing the same things, getting the same results.
Yeah.
Really, that's another conversation. But
and the second tip is let go of your limiting beliefs.
Let go of your limiting beliefs.
You know who you are, but do you know who you could be? Do you have any thoughts for that?
Well, that really pings off of taking care of your health spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Don't limit yourself.
Not limiting your beliefs. That right there. I don't know about the general public. I don't want to sit here and say that everyone in the world's been taught all these limiting beliefs. Your beliefs are yours.
Yes.
If those beliefs are limiting you from getting what you want or where you want to go, then you need to get rid of those limiting beliefs. But if my beliefs may be different than yours, maybe I want something different. So maybe my beliefs to you would be limiting. Maybe to you, your beliefs would be limiting to me. But so if you're trying to accomplish purchasing a new house, and you've been struggling, just for an example, or a car, let's just use a house. Let's just say that you've been wanting to buy a new house for 20 years, and you're struggling, and you're never able to get in the position to buy that house, and you just keep going in that same circle. You want to stop back and figure out, what am I telling myself? And that's making myself do things every day to have the outcome that I have. So when
the other way too is focus on your strength.
Focus on your strength. Talk about that.
And you'll get even stronger in those areas.
So you're talking about, first of all, changing your beliefs. And I mean, any belief that's limiting you from getting what you want. So if you keep telling yourself, gosh, I'm not really going to be able to buy a house, but I'm going to go through the motions, then you're not going to get the house. If you really start to believe that you're going to get that house, and many people, say it's a strong concept that goes back to many different books and authors and mentors, that whatever you can hold in your mind, you can believe in your mind, you can hold and believe in your hand. You'll see it. Whatever you can see in your thoughts, you can see in your hand. You go see it in reality.
See, you're good.
That no one
is really good.
No one really has the corner on that belief that there's hey, if I can hold it in my mind, I can hold it in my mind. That's been out there since Christ. Christ taught that concept that hey, if you see it in your mind and you really believe that, you can see it in your hand. Now the world's not telling you anything. The world's just a planet. Trees, water, animals, sky. The people out there, if the people that you're around have helped you have allowed them to come in and say things to you, and you believe what they say.
What you're saying is accept help from other people.
Well, it's not the limiting beliefs that you've created.
Ask help.
Well, it is, but the limiting belief that people that has created is your own fault. People may be telling you, hey, you're never going to be able to buy that big fancy house. You guys can't do that. Your family was broke. Your grandfather was broke. Your great grandfather was broke. You're never going to be able to buy that $1 million house. If you choose to believe that, well, you did that. That's your fault. You created your own limiting beliefs. Now, how do you get rid of those? Well, I've listened to a lot of different speakers over the years. I've spoke before.
Develop a growth mindset.
You've got to get yourself in a different situation. And that may be getting yourself away from those friends.
Yeah.
It may be getting yourself away from family, even that environment.
Get rid of all the negative things.
It's not that you're too good for these people, but if you're wanting
you're being humble.
Better things.
You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah. But so the biggest thing is
you're helping yourself. You're loving yourself. So get away from negative people.
There you go.
Negative things. Stay focused on positive things.
Yep. Well, and that's a big one I know I struggle with. I don't anymore, actually. Being confident.
I was struggling.
Those are things that
it was not easy to change. It was hard for me, but I'm doing it. I'm still doing it.
Well, and you know what we did, and it brings up the next topic that Jenny's got on here is she learned to amplify her strengths.
Yes.
We went to get rid of those limiting beliefs. We first decided. See, here's another thing. You're going to hear many different things, and finding out who you are is a hard thing if you listen to the world. So people are going to tell you, well, if you want to change your life, you got to figure out who you are. No, you don't. Well, no, then you got to figure out who you're not. No.
Make it clear, okay?
Now, the only thing you need to figure out is who you want to become. Don't worry about who you're not.
Yes.
Don't worry about who you are. Worry about who you want to become, because that's the best version of yourself. So I'm going to repeat that because this is the confusing process. You hear a lot of talks, a lot of videos, a lot of conferences. People will tell you, well, hey, if you want to change your life, figure out who you're not. No, you don't want to figure it out. And then some people go, well, no, now you have to figure out who you are. No, you don't need to figure out who you are. If you want to change your life and go up, figure out who you want to become. Because if you want to become the best version of yourself,
who you
want to become. And you know what? I looked at, there's a speaker of mine down the road that I've looked at over the years, and he always gives a talk about looking at who he wants to be 10 years from now. Mm-hmm. And he's never going to be that person because he gets 10 years down the road, and then he's always 10 years down the road. So he gets 10 years down the road.
You can't visualize your future.
Well, and I'll explain more of that. I really now have adapted and believe that my hero, that who I want to be is me 10 years from now. Yep. And then when I get, I'm 50 years old, if you were to ask me at 60 years old, did you become your hero? No, because he's 10 years away. Now he's at 70. I know I'm never going to become that person because I'm always striving to become a better version of myself. I'm always going to be improved, and I'm never going to be that person. And that may sound like, well, you've limited belief, Greg. No, that's not it. You have to understand that I'm always 10 years away. I always want to improve myself. I want to be 10 years down the road.
It has to be daily. Look for something that you can improve.
It is. Yep, it is. Yeah. So amplify your strengths. Find out what are your strengths. If you're going to be that person 10 years down the road, what are your strengths? Again, the best version of yourself are your strengths. They aren't your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So, talk about, look inside. What are your strengths, Jay?
Focus on your strength.
And amplify. That means turn the volume. An amplifier.
That's the word. Amplify.
Make things louder. That amplifier in a stereo system really is needed.
That's what it's called, amplifier.
It is. It amplifies.
I did not know that.
It amplifies. It makes it louder. And without an amplifier, well, if you went to a wedding and a DJ was there and you didn't have an amplifier, the music wouldn't be the same.
That makes sense. Amplifier.
So you want to amplify your strengths, make it louder, make it apparent.
Yes.
Make it so it can be seen to you. It doesn't have to be seen to the world.
Do not amplify your weakness, though.
Well, don't even talk about that. Don't even talk
about
that.
On that.
Because the best version of yourself isn't focusing on the weaknesses.
Yes.
Those weaknesses become your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Gotcha.
They really do. And
see, I learned a lot from you. Just listening here.
Well, these are things that actually you thought of. But the basic things here on that is, now, Jenny, you can talk about this.
You need to accept help from others too.
You talk about that. I'm gonna drink some coffee. I'm thirsty.
Yeah, put away your pride and prioritize. Choose people, activities, and things that make you happy. It could be doing yoga, at least for me. I'm doing yoga.
So you're talking about making things,
Yeah. Be sure to give yourself some me time. That's important.
Me time?
Me time.
Huh.
I have my me time all the time.
You have me time?
Yeah.
Do we get a lot of me time?
Yes.
We do. We get a lot of me time.
Not really.
Not really? Yes? No, we don't. See, look at that. She gets...
That's important to me. I have to have my me time, or else I'm going to be so grouchy.
Well, and...
It's important.
There's some things on that that we can sidetrack for a second on... developing, developing a growth mindset or developing your mindset. It's important. Wealthy people are, they're energetic. They don't sleep.
No.
It's important to get your sleep. Yes.
Successful people
people are energetic. And you know what? If
they don't sleep,
I don't have time to sleep 8 hours a day. No. Now you want to get healthy sleep. Mm-hmm. But listen, for all the things
that's a me time. You can have an extra sleep. Extra hour of sleep. That's my me time.
Well, that's your me time during the day.
Yes, I choose to sleep an extra time during daytime. I have to
so you take a
nap 30 minutes a day because it makes me feel good. I wake up energetic. I want to do more. I want to, keep you active after. As long as I have that me time is sleeping time. And I'll be good for the day.
Well, and the one thing I'll tell you too is for the guys out there, and for the gals. If you're really stuck and you've been stuck in yourself, for a long time, changing your habits and accepting that you need to change your habits. The first thing you want to do is get up in the morning. Most people that your wealthy, successful people are getting up at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning.
Even you start there. First thing you do is wake up in the morning.
Well,
start there.
Well, why are they getting up at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning? Because
I can do more.
Well, I can't get the things done throughout the day that I want to get done. So if I'm going to get up. And I believe in meditation. Meditation is a very important thing to do.
First thing in the morning, guys.
You got to get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Whether be talking to God, meditating, and having a conversation with Him. Be here if you like that. It does help during the day. It keeps you calm all day.
Well, and it's taken that time to become that better version of yourself by developing a growth mindset. The pattern that you've been in may not be the pattern that you need to stay in. And so find a pattern that works for you. And if you've been sleeping until 10, get up at 6 a.m. and get up and have that coffee or that water or tea in the morning. Do some reading. Have push. Well, have that mental that time. Whether it's a 15-minute meditation or a 30-minute meditation. Get up in the morning and do that by yourself. Your wife's, they're in bed or they're up, they're meditating in different places. But you guys, you need to get up in the morning and start getting going because you don't have time.
Because sometimes
to do all you want to do.
Because sometimes when your spouse, you're seeing them still sleeping until 7 o'clock and you become lazy, so you just lie down with them too. That's not good.
Yeah,
get up.
Get up in the morning and get your
that's what I've been doing.
So developing that mindset growth, there's going to be a routine. And if you're watching this and you're in that routine to where you're waking up at 5 a.m. and you're exercising and you're doing all that stuff in the morning, then then take a look at your routine and see if it's gotten routine. Mm-hmm. See if you're just checking the box. Because some people, they get in that and they're exercising, they're meditating, they're reading, they're going throughout the day and their life isn't changing and they're just checking the box.
And it's not going to happen over time.
Well, their routine has become routine.
A habit. Make it as a habit.
Well, what I'm trying to say, those are two different things.
Okay.
If there's people that don't have that habit, then get up and do it. But the people that I'll speak to now are you guys that are already in a routine of waking up at 5. And you're meditating, you're reading, you're going through the motion, but your life's not changing. Your routine has just become a routine. You're just checking the box that, okay, I did it, and it hasn't become a value. So you got to look at your routine and figure out, where you lost the edge.
Yes.
Where did you lose your spark? Yeah, where did you lose that? So now look at it and go, okay, I'm getting up at 5, I'm exercising, I'm doing all this,
and
blah,
nothing
blah, blah.
Changed.
And nothing's changed. Well, obviously, you've lost some excitement in your life. You've
Find
lost
something to excite you.
Well, and kind of what goes there too is that developing that mindset. People think that once they've got to a point, they're done. You're always developing your mindset. I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and recently, even more, the most successful people that are in the top earners in the United States. They're constantly, every day, developing their mindset. It's every day they're doing it. It doesn't stop, and they're always going towards their next vision.
It's just like it became an addiction for them. Learning, growing, reading, helping others, making,
That was something worth being addicted to.
It's like Oprah said, Oprah is addicted to books. Yeah. She reads.
Who's that?
Oprah,
yeah, she's a reader. Yeah, well, and Lance, I was talking with too. He wants to read all the time. That's just, he's reading all the time.
Because it's just like food.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, leaders are readers.
Yes.
If you want to become a leader, you need to read. That hasn't happened any other way. And and prioritizing your time. That is, the other one that Jenny's talked about is accepting help and prioritizing. Mm-hmm. Accepting help is a really big thing. So many people, they want to say, well, I want to help all these people. I want to give. Why? First of all, if you just want to help people, that's fine. But make sure you're helping in a way that you're not accepting anything. You're not expecting anything in return. If you're helping people and you think that's part of your journey of becoming a better version of yourself, but you're expecting something in return from those people, then you're not helping. Now, if you're sending signal, you're sending positive energy out to the universe and to God, and your soul is generating that positive energy, you can expect great things. Every morning I tell myself I expect great news today. I think great news are going to happen. But when I help somebody personally change a flat tire on the car, I don't expect them 3 weeks from now to help me if I need to go out and mow the yard. I give freely, and freely it's given back to me. That energy will come back automatically.
Be a triple giver and be a grateful receiver.
There you go. And understand that most people, well, I don't know most people, there are people that won't accept compliments, won't accept help because they're too prideful. They don't think that they need
compliments is a gift. I just explained to them.
Compliments is a gift. And that is becoming a better version of yourself. If you're currently in that position where you're not accepting help from people, you're not accepting compliments, that's a self-confidence issue that we need to work through.
I struggle with that for a long time. I don't like people complimenting me. I did not feel that I deserved that. So I had a self-esteem.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting better. Every time he compliments me, I would say thank you. Simply say thank you.
Well, and that becomes a better version of yourself because you can go out and now give compliments freely and receive them. And that peacefulness you're going to see take over your body. And that's all part of developing a mindset. Accepting help from others, that doesn't have to be a big issue. It really isn't. Just accept the fact that,
put away your pride.
Everybody needs some help at one point or another. Christ told us that in the very beginning, that we're not here to do it alone. We're here to do it together. And his desire for us was to grow, was to work together, was to
we are co-creating with God.
We are. And it's the word that just fellowship. God brought, Christ said that fellowship, being together, working together, helping each other was a very important thing in that fellowship. And his desire for us was to fellowship with people. And in doing that, you're going to accept help, you're going to give help, and you're going to do it freely both ways. There's no expectation either way. Prioritizing.
We already talked about that.
Oh, we did, but I'll touch on it here real quick. Choosing, this is really, important. Choosing the right people, the right activities, the right things, your daily routine, prioritizing. And here's where
you gotta be careful choosing friends.
Well, and that's where it can be tough. I remember Jenny and I having a conversation.
If you wanna change yourself. You gotta change friends. That means leaving. It requires leaving your old friends. If that friend doesn't help you, so find another friend. Well, it doesn't mean that you don't have to speak with them, right, but don't be around them. Well, it's okay to say hi. How are you? Don't be like, I'm different. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not like, I won't do that at all.
You and I had that conversation, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago, where we sat down and realized that if we were going to change our future, we were trying to build our life that we wanted within that circle, and we knew that circle didn't have those same desires. No. And there was nothing wrong with it. No one in that circle wanted to be an entrepreneur.
You want to grow.
No one wanted to go out and do the things we wanted to do. You know, there was a few people there that we're still close friends with.
They're just us.
But you know, we finally realized that you know, if we wanted to really get the life that we wanted, we were going to have to change our environment.
Be around those people. That's the same.
That requires letting go some of the friends, some even family, habits. I mean, if you're out going to bars every night, and you're sitting, you know, for husbands, if you're going to the bars every night and you're flirting with girls at the bar and your wife's home watching the kids, and you're drinking out with the drinking buddies, and you're coming home wondering why you're not a successful entrepreneur, and your family and your marriage is the same. You're hanging around and doing the wrong things, and you're carrying baggage. You're literally carrying baggage on, and you're leaving crumbs that you got to go back and pick up because you're throwing wrong signals to ladies at the bar. You're throwing wrong signals, you know, to the guys at the bar. You're throwing wrong signals to the people at the gas station. You know, ladies do the same thing. Ladies, if your husbands are home watching the kids, same thing to you guys. You're out flirting with guys. You're going to the ladies' clubs. You're out on parties. You're having fun. You're going to the mall. All those things. If you guys are throwing the wrong signals, then the friends you're hanging out with and the actions that you're doing, the activities, are preventing you from moving forward. And if you want to become the better version of who you are, and we don't know who that is. You know what your best
everyone wants to become the best version of themselves, but few of us doing it.
Yeah.
That is the fact.
Well, and you ever wonder why that 5% of the people make 95% of the income?
It's just few of us doing it.
Well, and 95% of people make 5% of the income. But those 5% of the people, as the more and more I've spent more time with over the last 20 years, and more in the last 3 or 4 years, you would think that, they're just wealthy and they are following God. Not the case. Some of them may have got there by not following God. Fair enough.
Oh yeah,
but
there's people.
But a lot of those people we see that are there now,
they're not happy either. Well, they're rich, but they're not happy. Well, people that are not following God, they're happy. They're miserable.
But a lot of those people I see that I've talked with that didn't follow God, that are wealthy. Now, when they got there, they realized what got them there, and now they're following God.
Yes.
And then they're becoming more successful and helping other places.
That, yeah.
And so that they truly have that balance. But somewhere along the way, I understand that a lot of those people, even if it didn't appear that they were following God, they really were behind the scenes. I mean, so it's not for us to judge and see.
Stop criticizing and judging others too. That's one thing.
You know, that's a big thing. You know,
that could make you feel better of yourself.
It is. Oh, my alarm's going off to let us know.
We need to stop criticizing and judging others. It's very important.
Well, and Jen, you picked on a couple things here, and you know, I'm going to look at this just for time. But I know that self-love is something that's really important.
It's important. Stop struggling with who you are and what you become. Instead, love yourself. This will help your process of becoming the best version of yourself.
And that's a topic.
It will help us. Yeah.
I've been studying that for 20 years as I talked with folks, and the two biggest things that was self-love is, you know, I mean, I was a fireman for a period of years, and you know, I had to learn to take care of myself first.
Yeah.
Before I could go into a fire, I had to make sure I was armed with the right stuff, so I could go in.
Protect yourself.
I had to protect myself first, and be comfortable with who I was before I could go into that fight. And as I look at my relationships and my marriage, and I've been married, you know, Jenny and I have both been married twice before.
This is our third marriage.
We now know, and Jenny and I have looked at each other and now realize
we learn from our exes.
A healthy relationship is.
We learn.
We learn, you know, but you know, those are mistakes that all of us made. But what Jenny and I finally know what true love is, and it started, I reminded myself as a fireman
to love yourself first.
I truly love myself first, and then I have a great relationship with myself. Jenny will tell you I can sit and talk to I can hang out with myself all day. I love myself.
He's so in love with
not to an unhealthy point, But yeah,
I'm just kidding.
But she picks on me. You know, but
I love myself.
I love myself. Go spend some time with yourself. Kiss yourself. You know, I mean, there's a lot of speakers that'll do that. But what they're trying to say is that be comfortable with who you are. Once you love you and know how to love you, and you have a good relationship with you,
it becomes so easy to love others.
Well, and
I've experienced.
Don't judge yourself.
Yes.
Don't criticize yourself. Don't talk bad about yourself.
I love me.
And so those things that we don't do to ourselves, we don't do to others, because that's becoming the best version of yourself. So when you go out, then you're going to love others. You're not going to judge others. You're not going to criticize.
It's not going to be so hard, like forcing yourself to love others. It just, how do you say that? I'm blind.
Well,
it comes naturally.
It comes naturally. Yes. It's something that just came to me sitting here. The way you treat others is the way that you believe in yourself. So if you're judging people, talking bad about people, you're doing that to yourself at home.
Yes.
If you're loving people, seeing the best in other people, lifting people up, you're doing that to yourself at home. So people know you by the way you are. So if you think you're hiding yourself from the world, you're not. And I see that in the folks that I want to, first of all, I was talking with a close friend of mine that's kind of helping me in business, giving me suggestions, and I look at him as a mentor. But he said, Greg, the one thing that, and I remember this from when I coach people, I never wanted people to want to be like Greg or want to talk like Greg.
Don't copy.
If I was successful and people wanted to come to me, those people wanted to think like me. So when I'm talking with my coach as a mentor, I don't want to be like him. I don't want to be him. I want to think like him.
Yes.
That's what I want.
And what are the tools they're using?
Right.
Then you can.
Then you can duplicate.
Yes, duplicate. But don't be like copying.
No.
Exactly what you know.
Well, one of my biggest mentors over the years was Dexter Yeager.
Use the tools that they're using.
Well, and then there's a family here in town that that I'm very close with, Carl Westmeyer. He's a great friend of mine. He's a very successful entrepreneur, all the way back in the Amway business. Knew the owners, back to where the owners were loading product in the vans for him. Carl and Joanne taught me a lot, and I remember Carl telling me, he said, "Listen, you don't want to be me. You don't want to be like me." And I said, "Well, Carl, I actually do. You retired at like 35 years old, and you raised your kids, and you built this business all over the world, and you can wake up and do what you want. You've got the money. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I want to be like you." And he'd look at me with that scratchy voice and go, "You don't want to be me. You don't want to be like me. You want to think like me." And I went, "What are you talking about?" His lifestyle was amazing. I mean, he'd call me in the afternoon when I was, the most frustrating thing he'd do, he'd call me at 1 o'clock while I was running my insurance company, and he'd go, "What are you doing?" And I'd say, "Well, Carl, I'm at work." "Well, I'm sitting in a boat. I'm out watching the fish." Well, thanks, Carl. Thanks for telling me that. And he'd call me back the next day and go, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, Carl, it's 11 o'clock. "Well, I'm sitting in my backyard just watching the birds getting ready to fire up the grill. Wish you were here." You hang the phone up. And I used to get so frustrated, but I finally started to figure out
it will help.
But it helped me. And again, when I'm a new close friend of mine and a mentor, Lance.
What he was doing is he was keeping it excited.
He was.
He was like, you can get here.
You can get to where you're, but you're not going to get to do it being me. And Lance told me that just the other day. He said, "Greg, you don't want to be me. You don't want to be like me. But if there's things that you want to duplicate, you want to learn how to think like me, if that's what you want to do." And I went, and that light bulb went off that used to be on. You know how light bulbs burn out? I forgot to change mine because I knew that years ago. And that whole thing with how to become a better version of yourself, too many people confuse that and they want to be somebody else. No, you don't. You want to be the best version of you. Who do you want to become? You're still you that's inside of your soul. You've just chose to blame the world. Well, the world made me believe this, and the world, first of all, the world's just dirt, rock, and water. So the people out there, it's not their fault that you became who you are. You chose. Now there's bad situations that people get stuck in for a while, and there's things like
distracted.
That. But at some point in time, it's up to you to pull yourself out of situations and decide that I want to become a better version of me. I'm not a victim. I don't have a victim mentality where I become this person because of everybody else. It's nobody's fault but yours. It's our fault. Jenny and I will tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
We went through, over the last, from 2015 to 2019, I don't want to repeat. My goodness, one day you'll hear that story.
We had stories.
We had stories. I mean,
no, we don't have time right now.
I don't have time for that one. If I ever finish my book, which I desire to, then that'll be in there. as we're wrapping up here, we'll touch on, visualizing who you want to become. I talked about that in the very beginning.
Stop people pleasing. That's one thing.
Stop people pleasing. Yeah, people, you think you need to do stuff to please other people, and here's the deal.
You gotta stop, because I was like that. You were like that.
Well, and only now take this for what it's worth. Take this for what it's worth. Nobody really cares.
I know.
You have a circle of people around you that you choose to care about. Your mentors, your family, your wife,
Not
maybe
all
some
of them
friends.
cares.
But past that circle, nobody really cares. Nobody really cares about anything. But you seem to think the world cares. Nobody really cares. Becoming the best version of yourself is letting things go and not worrying about what people think, because it's none of your business. And I knew this 15, 20 years ago. I just was able to remind myself through some friends of ours that gave me some books that said,
coach.
And Kevin was a coach of mine, and he's a great friend.
Natalie and Kevin. Hi,
thank you guys. They're an awesome couple, and they gave me some tools, which was what go back to what Lance said, that hey, I'm not going to teach you anything. I'm going to give you a book, and that book is you read that book, and that's fantastic. That's where you want to learn.
If you read it or not. If you want to improve your life, read every day.
And it goes back. It brought me back to something that's really maybe hard for people to hear. How to say it. Because I'm a troublemaker anyways. Here we go.
Please,
but if you understand that it's none of your business what anybody thinks about you. Now here's the thought. This is from the Bible. Christ, as he walked the earth, he didn't care what you or I thought of him. He really didn't. He didn't care what you or I thought of him. What he cared about is what you thought about you. And that's really what Jenny and I were reminded of. That's selfless. I care about what you think about you. But I don't really care about it. It's none of my business what you think about me. It isn't. But we want to help you feel better about you. And that's Christ gave us that example. I mean, look at that. He spit on it. He was thrown rocks. He was talked bad about. He was even his own, at times his disciples were against him. So Christ taught us that in the very beginning. And Christ, he didn't care what you thought about him. He cared about what you thought about you. And that's why he was here, to help you become a better version of yourself. Because he's seen greatness in you, which brings us to the final point of, stop people pleasing. Well, we've talked about that now. And stop being critical. We've talked about that. Stop worrying about other people, but stop judging others. Stop being, see, now we're going to go back. That relationship you have in yourself, that self-love. Mm-hmm. If you're not judging yourself, you're not judging others. If you're not critical of yourself, you're not critical of others.
Stop criticizing yourself, guys.
What you do here, what you do here starts here, and it goes there. So when we're done today, are you a good person? Are you a good person?
I am.
Jenny's a good person. She is a good person.
And I'm humble.
And I'm humble too. I'm the greatest person in the world. I am.
Guys, that was just a joke.
But
cheers to that. To our.
Well, yeah, today's been
amazing
a good show.
Coach Gregory Fields.
Oh no, we got a lot to go, but
thank you.
Guys, we're gonna wrap this up. I know we've talked a lot.
I have a verse.
Oh, you do?
The Bible I found.
Oh, she's gonna read a verse.
It says 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here.
The old is gone.
2 Corinthians 5:17.
The old is gone, the new is here.
That's a nice verse.
So you can get rid of the old version of yourself and create the newest version. And as we wrap this up, I'll share with you some of the tools that I've used. And I'm going to give you the best book that every book came from, for every leadership book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a good book to read, so you can understand people and how to deal with them. And guys, if you read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, remember, your wife is a people too. Your kids are people too. You can use those same exercises, that same knowledge with your wife and your kids. I remember struggling in my marriage at the time and sitting with a multimillionaire. I'm in a hot tub, and I'm reading this book out in Las Vegas, and my marriage was struggling. And Steve looks over at me and says, "Greg, you got to understand your wife's a people too." Oh, I can use that same knowledge on my wife. Duh. So How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Your kids are people too.
Your kids are people
too.
Personality.
Family you have in the house.
Well, Personality Plus.
They're people too. I like Personality Plus. You should read that, guys. That really changed me. I mean, I can. How do you call that? I know people more through that book.
You do.
I know how to.
Well, and again, write these down because we're going to wrap up. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Personality Plus.
You will know how they are.
The Power of Positive Thinking. that one's, that's a very good book.
Conversation with God, I enjoy it.
Conversations with God, a good book. Think and Grow Rich. Those books together, and then I'm going to throw two more in. The 5 Love Languages. That's a good book just to understand people and your marriage.
Especially your spouse.
But the book above all, I've read literally, I was counting the other day as all the books. I kept a little journal, I found some old notes. I've read over 300 books. Easy. I mean, easy anywhere from that, well over that. I think I was looking through some stuff, talking to an old mentor of mine. He said, Greg, I bet you read close to 1,000 books over the years. I said, I probably. Books and books and books and books. I get them all boxed up.
We got rid of them because it was too much.
Well, I kept all my good ones, but I gave a lot. They were all good. But the last book, I'll tell you that every leadership book is duplicated. Mm-hmm. Every leadership book has come from one basic book called the Bible.
Baby, we are running out of time.
We are.
I just start talking about
so those books there, grab those books. Those books will change your life. And we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna end it. And I tell you what, it's just super exciting of the things that we have in front of us, of how things are going.
Stay excited every day, guys.
Stay excited, becoming the best.
While you're creating your goals, stay excited. Do something makes you excited. Okay?
Well, and becoming the best version of yourself, don't make it complicated.
We are learning every day, man. I'm so excited.
Don't make it complicated. Find a system that works for you. Reach out to Jenny and I. There's different programs that we have of how we're doing. Our first 30 minutes is going to be a free time on the phone or on Zoom. We can sit and talk, and we'll go from there and to figure out how we can help you. But if you can take some time to learn how to become the best version of yourself, we want to help. We want to build people into leaders. That's what we want to do. And there's some other opportunities. I think in the next.
There are a lot of tools that we're using right now.
Well, and I think in the next couple of weeks we may actually do a presentation of one of our businesses. We'll have to talk about that. During one of our shows, maybe we can just do a live presentation out there so folks can see the business opportunities, what we're looking for.
Oh, the other business?
We're looking for leaders,
yes.
Folks that want to change their lives, that all of this works with it. So, guys, we're going to leave with that, but I wouldn't miss next week. I've got some, I haven't even told Jenny, there's an NFL player here locally in Kalamazoo that we're reaching out with. I've had contact with in the past.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to see if I can
Surprising.
reconnect that relationship that I had a minor connection with years ago through the Kalamazoo Country Club. I'm going to see if we can get maybe in a month or so down the road an interview with him. But I don't know.
He has a lot of stories.
That's why I'm not mentioning his name, because I got to see if we can get that time with him to bring him on the show. But we want to keep interviewing people at least once a month, because we don't want to share just
to learn from their.
We don't want to share just our knowledge.
Yeah.
We want to share their knowledge. So we can bring that stuff to you guys. And guys, spread this out. Pass it around to all your channels. Pass it around to your Facebook. Humbly, I would just share that with you. And let God lead you when you share this out. And, with that, as I always do, I got to put my glasses on and you can see me at the end. And I'm going to lean forward as my signature mark.
Thank you guys for watching. God bless everyone. And please don't follow us in Facebook and YouTube. Jenny Greg Purkowski.
Yeah, and
not Purkowski. It's just Jenny Greg. That's our YouTube channel.
Well, awesome.
And then we have a lot of pages in Facebook and finance.
We do. So with that, we're gonna wrap up today. And like always, achieving your goals is great. It's something we do, done, and we continue to.
Cheers.
We continue to do. Hey, we love you guys.